chances the hoodie comes off mid-match?
If he loses game 1, I think it's a lock.
It's a lock? Okay.
It's a lock to come off.
Perfect.
So, Boswell here playing, this deck is kind of set in stone at this point. 18 lands, 8 fetches, 6 dual lands, 4 wastelands, 12 threats, and Delver Secrets, Nimble Mongoose, Tarmogoyf, Brainstorm, Ponder, Force of Will, Daze, Gataxian Probe, Stifle, Lightning Bolt. There's 2 flex slots. Sometimes you see Spell Pierce, sometimes you see Dismember. Boswell this weekend going with Fork Bolt.
We're underway here. Round number 4 from New Jersey. Steven Sachs off to a nice start with his Mono White Soldiers deck. No buys for him, 3-0. Boswell with the Gataxian Probe. He wants to see what's going on. Yeah, definitely get, oh no, a mulligan to 4. Oh dear. Oh dear.
So that's a Daru, is that Daru War Chief?
That's correct.
Okay, I remember that from drafting that particular format.
Yeah, there's a Chromox over there, and there's an enlistment officer. That's right.
Which is the Goblin Ringleader for soldiers.
Look at you. Look at you, still got it after all this time.
Just firing on all cylinders today.
It's debatable if the coffee was even necessary.
Oh, it's definitely necessary.
A mulligan to 4, not ideal.
Mulligan to 4 into Chromox is not great.
No. Chromox has really trended downward. I thought that card would see more play.
I mean, it's in the same space as a lot of cards like Chromox and, it's the cards like Chalice of the Void. They accentuate your best draws, but they're pretty bad when your draw is poor. And generally, you want to be playing with cards that help you when your draw is not very good.
It's another Plains here from Sachs. He'll pass the turn back over to Boswell. Polluted Delta the draw. There's a Wasteland. And now here's a Tarmogoyf. The enemy of fair creature decks.
Up to a point. There's some creature decks that can definitely just overpower this thing. Sachs is going to struggle to do that on a 4-card hand, however.
I'm inclined to agree. Tarmogoyf only a 2/3 right now. Sorcery and land in the graveyard. Didn't get a great look at the draw.
I think it was another Mox.
Yikes. Well, here's the first Mox. The Daru War Chief is underneath that one.
Like that play. You need the enlistment captain to gas back up. Ooh, I spotted it incorrectly.
As a preeminent captain, Boswell going to take a little look. What's going on here? Seems like a juicy target for a Daze, maybe a Force of Will, but no, none of the above. Boswell will draw.
Well, I think his plan here is to save his Force of Will here for the enlistment officer and then beat Sachs with the leftovers.
Well, I'll have you know, when preeminent captain attacks, you can't counterspell the enlistment officer. What do you think about that?
Well, you can block it and then counter whatever he finds, or ignore it because you have a Tarmogoyf, and he's probably only finding 2/2s.
That's true.
We'll see. Let's see how this plays out.
All right, Lightning Bolt's going to take care of that. Here comes Tarmogoyf. It's a 4/5 now.
Disappointment.
It's a tough start for the Soldiers deck. It's a tough start. Hey, at least Sachs can't be wastelanded yet. How about that, if we're looking for positives? It's going to pass the turn back. Boswell going to draw. A Daze. It's good against a 4-mana enlistment officer.
Yeah, that should do it. Sachs does have 3 copies of Sachs does have 3 copies of Cavern of Souls in his deck. That's his draw here. Get a Cavern, you got something going.
Another preeminent captain. I got a bad feeling about this. I think we're going to see a hard cast Daze. Boswell flexing his muscles here. One thing about Temur Delver decks, they do typically beat up on decks like this.
Well, I think that it's hard to judge with Sachs being on 4 cards. That's not a good starting point. I do think that, like I said, Temur Delver is not necessarily great against decks that are good at brawling, and Sachs can get, a lot of power and toughness into play, a lot of first strike. These things can be problematic, but on 4 cards, nothing really matters.
There's an attack for 4. Sachs down to 8. It's not there. We're going back to Boswell. Nimble Mongoose the draw. In for 4 more. Force of Will at the ready, either alternate cast or just hard cast. Boswell not going to play another spell, no need to. And I think Sachs is conceding. I think he's stuck with, yeah, a lot of 4-mana spells there in Enlistment Officers. And Boswell says, I have a lot of answers for those with Force of Will. So Andrew Boswell's going to wing in number 1 here over Stephen Sachs. Teamer Delver up a game very quickly over Mono White Soldiers. For Sachs, got to keep more than 4.
Be helpful.
Just a little professional tip from me to Steven. To the sideboards we're going to go. We'll take a little look here at Sachs with his 4 Oblivion Rings. 3 Phyrexian Invokers, 4 Rest in Peace, and 4 Thorn of Amethyst. Well, there is one very good one there.
Well, I think the 4 copies of Rest in Peace, they're excellent here. Teamer Delver really needs the graveyard for the deck to do very much at all. And so shutting off the graveyard is excellent. I even think the 4 copies of Oblivion Ring can come in. Just any sort of creature removal spell, get Tarmogoyf off the table. Seems good enough to bring in.
On the other side of things here for Boswell, it's got 2 Pyroblast, Red Elemental Blast, a Hydro Blast, 4 Spell Pierce on the board, interesting. 2 Submerge, a Vendilion Click, 2 Rough Tumble, a Sulfur Elemental, good against the white deck, and then a Life from the Loam.
Well, 2 copies of Rough Tumble are definitely great here. Sachs has a lot of 2 toughness creatures on the ground. That's things you want to bring in. Sulfur Elemental, that is more of an anti-death and taxes type of measure. Sachs's threats are much more in the 2 and 3 toughness space, so I'm not positive Sulfur Elemental is going to be good here. If you're in Boswell's seat, you probably anticipate there's some 1 toughness white threats in the deck, and you should probably just bring it in. Sachs's deck actually isn't that vulnerable to Sulfur Elemental.
I think Boswell trying to appease you here. The Spell Piercers in the sideboard, probes in the main deck, 4 of them.
Like it.
Yeah, I figured you'd be a fan. Well, those are the options there for both players. Stephen Sachs will be on the play. In the meantime, we're going to talk about the Season 4 schedule here in the Open Series, which doesn't have a lot of time left. Grand Prix Atlanta was won by Tom Martell. We do remember that one. New Jersey here. We'll find out soon enough. And the next weekend, we're going to Denver.
Yeah, it's the last Open Series event of the year in Denver, which will be standard after that. Season 4 Invitational, Las Vegas, Nevada. Standard and modern as the Invitational formats with a 2-day $20,000 standard Open Series event. And a week after that, Players Championship, Roanoke, Virginia, Star City Games headquarters, December 19th and the 20th to close out the year.
Now, Denver is the last weekend that you can't get the Hop and Rabbit Master. This season has gone by pretty quickly here, so this is our free limited edition playmat. Pretty simple to get. You sign up, you get one.
Except now, it's only Denver.
Yeah.
If you want to get your hands on this playmat, don't want to engage the secondary market, if you're not here in New Jersey this weekend, got to go to Denver, last chance to get it. But it is free.
Yeah.
Just got to sign up for the main event. We don't limit it to the first X people who show up. You don't get it after the fact, nothing like that. Get it when you sign up, but Denver's your last chance.
Now, of course, next year, or Season 1, we'll have a brand new playmat for you guys. It'll be the old Kitchen Lynx. Get it?
I do.
See, instead of Finks, it's Lynx because it's a cat. Lynx, secretly one of my favorite words.
Like L-Y-N-X.
Yeah. I don't even know why. There are just some words that I like in English language that are really cool. I like the word Electro. Just a horrible Spider-Man villain.
Yes, Max Dillon, I believe.
Portrayed horrifically by Jamie Foxx in the movie.
An electrician.
Yes.
Who, I guess, got zapped on the power line. I believe he made his debut, Amazing Spider-Man number 9, I want to say.
This is very impressive if that's all correct. I love electricity, like super villains. I suppose could be a superhero.
A lot of, you can tell that the 1960s, what was on people's minds a lot was Cold War related stuff and nuclear accidents or things related to nuclear accidents. A lot of Spider-Man's early villains are kind of in that space. There was some accidents. Sandman was on a beach when a nuclear bomb went off. Spider-Man bit by a radioactive spider. Max Dillon, electrician working on a line, got zapped. Phobias over technology, over nuclear energy, and over war. Makes a lot of sense. 1960s, a lot of that kind of stuff going on in the U.S.
So how do you explain Doc Ock?
He's a mad scientist.
Oh, true. Okay, hold on. I'm going to poke some holes in this theory. The Scorpion?
Science experiment. He got his suit grafted onto him.
Okay, got it.
You really got to go. The first one you can go to that's not really related to this at all, I think you got to go to the Kingpin. He's the first Spider-Man villain that's just, he's into organized crime. That's it.
Okay. All right, man, your Spider-Man knowledge, very impressive.
Pretty big fan.
I like Spider-Man a pretty healthy amount.
I have Amazing Spider-Man number 1. This is like a thing for me. This is a thing.
Do you have Captain of the Watch and printed on Chromox?
No, I don't. Nor do I want one. Yeah. But here we are.
Here's an ancient tomb. Turn 1. Suppression field. Oh, that's actually good.
This could be really good.
Yeah, this could actually be really good.
Depending on what Boswell's hand is like, this could be very good. His hand's 3 fetch lands.
That's the whammy. That is the whammy. Draw a card, ponder.
All right, going to game 3.
Yeah,
Good stuff. Good stuff. Good set of games so far.
activated abilities cost 2 more to play unless they're mana abilities. And the sacrificing a fetch land's not a mana ability.
Right. Same reason you can stifle it.
Yeah. Ancient Tomb going to tap for some more mana. Show me a permanent captain. Okay, that sort of counts. Bally Rush Banneret. Creature type Kithkin, by the way.
All right.
For those of you guys who don't know at home.
And Boswell's hand was great here. He had cantrips, rough tumble. All you could really ask for. And he needs to draw 2 lands to be able to break out.
To be able to do anything.
Yeah. And he's only got 10 lands in his deck that make mana.
Yep. Good old Bally Rush. Look at that Kithkin soldier. Carrying a flag. Giving beatdowns for 2. Bunch of flavor text no one cares about. Jackal herds in the flavor text. There's 1,000. This game is over. Costs 1 less.
Doesn't even have to tap the Ancient Tomb.
Over to the Boz.
He could have done this just as easily with turn 1 Blood Moon, but this is way more fun.
This is way better.
This is
Blood Moon
way
is
better.
lame.
Yeah, anyone can win that way.
Another fetch. Nice.
Nice.
Sachs will draw. Another suppression field.
That is the lock.
Throw away the key. That's literally it.
And Boswell needs to draw 4 mana producing lands before he can get any mana going. It's asking a lot.
In for 4.
And I believe Sachs can cast it through the Thalia because he's got 3 mana available.
Yep.
Suppression fields cost 2.
Lock him up. What do we got? Oh, enlistment officer. Take a little look.
-1 mana because of the ballyhoo, whatever.
That's Bally Rush. Bally Rush. Banneret. It's not ballyhoo Banneret. Top 4, Goblin Ringleader clone. Another enlistment captain. Excuse me, enlistment officer, permanent captain, and a field marshal.
Gang's all here.
Just how we drew it up here for round number 4.
Boswell doing a little reading here, getting ready for game 3.
You got to get that information on the way out.
Yep.
Not quite sure what can happen to you. What I can tell you is that Boswell, there's no coming back here. Ooh, Tarmogoyf, that's expensive. Might cost more than Steven's entire deck. You lose, Andrew Boswell. Steven Sachs does win game number 2. Mono White Soldiers, Team Redelver, getting ready for game number 3.
Boswell, to his credit, straight-faced. Kept it cool the whole time, kept it calm.
Hoodie, on or off? You said it was chilly. I agree.
The variable here, this is what complicates matters. It's the hat. With no hat, I think it's a no-brainer to take the hoodie off. But you have to either take your hat off first or try to get your hoodie off. Over the hat, both of these not ideal.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
There's not even a move towards hoodie at this point.
Yeah.
Focused in on re-sideboarding, I think, right now, is Andrew Boswell. We'll see.
That was delightful.
We'll
that was really great.
I enjoy the turn 1 suppression field is actually good against a lot of decks in this format.
It's got to be on the play. On the draw, you can fetch for a land, and then if you have a mana-producing land, then you can go about your business. But definitely on the play there was the whole game.
Well, game number 3 going to be on the way here in just a moment here. Andrew Boswell will be on the play. But right now, we're going to talk about the innovator, the Hall of Famer, the Pro Tour champion, the 2 times world's runner-up competitor. That's Patrick Chapin and his Next Level library.
Yeah, we got 2 books available for you. Next Level Magic with a focus on playing the game better, and Next Level Deck Building, a focus on building better decks. These are for players of all ability levels. They're available on paperback and ebook right now at starcgames.com/nextlevel.
Soon, Patrick Chapin's going to have a new set to analyze, as Oath of the Gatewatch is almost here. I'm pretty stoked for that set, by the way.
Yes.
I don't know what to expect. We've seen some interesting cards that may be real, may not be real. Co-selected waste and all this stuff.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to speculate on any of that stuff just yet.
I don't like playing the guessing game.
I don't either. I'm not either.
But we'll see what comes down this set. I'm expecting some pretty sweet stuff. Mostly, I want new allies. That's all I want.
Yeah, just fill out that curve a little bit.
Fill it out. Let the deck be playable. That's all I'm looking for. There might be some other cool stuff. I don't know, a cool Planeswalker or 2. Who knows?
Almost certainly there'll be a cool Planeswalker or 2. Another big Eldrazi, I'm sure, coming down the pipeline.
Well, we can't have Emrakul and Kozilek just not be here. That would be weird. I don't know the lore, but I think those 2 monsters are still alive.
There's an expectation from the players, I think, for all three of these Eldrazi to be in the sets.
Yeah.
I think there's an expectation.
Apparently, Kozilek is awaiting to be awoken. It looks like Ob Nixilis has awoken. So is Ob Nixilis a good guy or a bad guy?
It's a demon.
Seems like a bad guy. Probably a bad guy.
Just shows up and murders creatures. It seems bad. I'm not the lore guy, so.
Seems like not great. Tropical Island, Nimble Mongoose. Both players going to keep 7 here. I don't know, people jump sides, right? Sometimes Magneto is a good guy.
Magneto's a complicated character, though. It's not as simple to say Magneto's a bad guy.
Oh, you understand Magneto.
I'm just saying it's more complicated.
You guys are just really good friends.
Didn't say that.
Suppression field here on turn 1. Is this going to resolve again?
Doesn't matter. Boswell's got a volcanic in hand.
He's got more lands.
It doesn't matter. This is the difference between Suppression Field and Blood Moon. Suppression Field on the draw, Boswell's going to get plenty of hands that just don't really care about this. On the play, it's very close to Blood Moon.
Yeah.
Very few of Boswell's hands will play through this, but on the draw, the Suppression Field is not nearly as good.
This game, Suppression Field, not game over, it appears.
Yeah, I don't even think it's really going to impact things.
Boswell will play a Volcanic Island. Here comes the Goose. Sachs will fall down to 19. And Boswell just passed the turn back.
I like the read written on the Volcanic there. I'm assuming double-sleeved and borrowed.
Probably, that's probably it. Or he just wrote Reed's name just right on top of Volcanic Island. Reed, of course, referring to Reed Duke, the Sugarloaf native, much like Andrew Boswell. There is the Ballyrush Banneret yet again. Creature type, Kifkin. And Soldier. Might have a lightning bolt on the way. Bzz.
Seems like a no-brainer here with Sachs missing a land drop.
Sachs deck doesn't have a lot of land. It only has 18.
Yeah.
Really skimping.
4 Ancient Tombs.
Yeah.
And then the Chrome Moxes.
He does have 4 Chrome Mox. Here's a Wooded Foothills from Boswell. Just going to attack for 1, pass the turn back.
I like Boswell's patience with the brainstorm here. Hand's a little soft right now, just waiting until he has more information about what he needs.
Another Ballyrush Banneret. Pass the turn back. Wasteland the draw.
I think we're going to see I think now we are going to see the brainstorm. Boswell's hand really doesn't do anything. It's a lot of lands.
They just kind of glutted up here a little bit without much to do. So it looks like it is going to be time for brainstorm.
Part of the issue here is if he wants to brainstorm and fetch, which I assume he does, that's kind of his whole turn because of the field. So he's got to wait until he has more lands in play to be able to finagle everything. And because he's flooding out so badly right now, I think he really wants to make sure that he can pay the 2 mana and shuffle his deck.
Yep, that's what Wasteland's going to help him to do. He'll sacrifice Wooded Foothills after paying 2 mana to do so thanks to Suppression Field. The Goose is loose, maybe.
Yeah, Boswell just double checking for first strike. I think it was all that was.
Oh, he doesn't know what the old Ballyrush does, huh?
There's a lot of first strike in Sachs' deck. You got to make sure.
Boswell going to sacrifice the Wooded Foothills now. I think we might have a Tropical Island on the way and another Nimble Mongoose coming.
But Boswell's hand is not great.
No,
It's
not really.
Not very good here.
Not too much going on.
And Sachs is going to start firing in some reasonable threats here. And like I said, Sachs' deck is probably pretty good at gumming up the works here. A lot of first strike and so forth. And if Boswell can't follow up with a lot of creature removal or far on the Tarmogoyf, this could be problematic. His hands just lands in a stifle.
Yeah,
Besides the Mongoose.
It kind of stinks. Boswell going to pass the turn back.
Yeah, I think he wants to be able to stifle
Maybe a Chrome Mox or something.
Or the 4-drop, the enlistment
Ah,
officer.
yes. It just rolls off the tongue. The old enlistment officer. There's some nice 4s in this deck.
I think the least celebrated of that cycle.
What, is there a Merfolk one?
No, I think there was only 3 in Apocalypse.
Okay.
There was only Sylvan Messenger, Goblin
Ringleader.
Leader, and Enlistment Officer.
Yeah, I'm almost positive there's not a black one. I don't think there's one for zombies.
No, I don't think so.
And then there's not one for mist forms. Aha, that's what it would be, right? I believe so. Field Marshal. The old Field Marshal looking to help out the Battle Rush. Guess other soldiers +1/+1 in first strike. First strike's actually annoyingly good against Team
No, that was part of the argument I'm making here. Why I don't think this matchup is that bad for Sachs is if the game is about who can get more stuff on the ground and winning combat, Sachs has a pretty big edge in a lot of those games. He can make his creatures larger. He can give them first strike. With Enlistment Officer, he can draw a lot of cards. The first game where Boswell ran him over, I don't think that's a fair indicator of exactly how bad the matchup is because Sachs was on 4 cards. I also think game 2 is a good representation either because the field just locked Boswell out of the game. Now we're playing a real game 3 here, although Boswell's flooding out quite a bit.
Tarmogoyf has been found. He does have a Wasteland he could use, but it does cost 2 mana to use. So that's a little bit annoying. And Sachs is actually starting to build up a bit of a board here. There's Tarmogoyf. Here's Himmel Mongoose. And only 3 cards in the graveyard, so no real good attacks to be had here for Boswell.
What Boswell can do, though, if he can just slow the game down and gum up the works, he is drawing to 2 copies of Rough Tumble.
Yep.
And there's a plan there. The problem is if Sachs finds enough, Field Marshal type of cards, Rough Tumble won't work anymore.
Chrome Mox was the draw. Yeah, we might see Boswell with the Stifle in his hand has some interest in stifling the imprint trigger on Chrome Mox.
I don't think that Boswell can play that sort of game because Boswell's not going to be in a position to attack probably for quite a while unless he happens to draw Rough Tumble. I would rather fight over things like Enlistment Officer, let the board kind of gum up, and hopefully Rough Tumble comes at some point and wipes away Sachs' board. But I don't think you can play a tempo game at this point. I mean, Boswell's got nowhere to go.
Let's see what this is going to be. Oblivion Ring. You want to stifle that? It's got the option.
This is a tough spot because it's bad if Boswell fights over this, and it's bad if he lets it go.
Yeah. Yeah, he's going to stifle the Oblivion Ring trigger. When it enters the battlefield, exile another target non-land permanent. It goes in the stack, of course. There used to be some interesting stack tricks with Oblivion Ring. So the ring's just it's going to be on the battlefield, but it doesn't get to actually exile anything. That's why you see Sachs kind of move it off to the side there. Weird little game here.
Yeah, this is an odd one. Boswell feels a bit behind right now, but is drawing to Rough Tumble. And all of his red removal is good.
Yeah, I just drew a copy of Fork Bolt.
Fork Bolt's excellent here.
Yep.
Take care of the Field Marshal. You can Wasteland the Caracas away, then he's pinned on mana, you're approaching Threshold, and as long as you can keep the Lords in check, then Rough Tumble is a great draw for Boswell whenever he finds it. By the looks of things, Sachs is not going to be in a position himself to attack for quite a while.
And only a couple of cards there in Boswell's hand. The Fork Bolt that he just drew, and then a Polluted Delta he's been holding on to for a while. So here comes old Fork Bolt. He's going to actually take care of the Banneret, which also makes some sense because it looks like Boswell's going to start to go after the lands.
Yeah, this is the other path, I suppose, is you just go aggressively after the mana. I think that Boswell is still short on Threshold.
6 cards right now.
Yep.
But he does have a Delta in his hand and also another Wasteland on the battlefield. So he can get there.
Yep. Well, the problem with the Field Marshal in play is that if Sachs is able to find a reasonable play next turn, the Nimble Mongooses may not be in a position to attack.
Yep.
So then he's just back on Tarmogoyf being the only eligible attacker. Caracas off the top is about the worst draw here for Boswell. Punishes him the most for this line of play.
Well, I think there's good and bad involved there. The bad side is that, you know, Sachs has another land to play.
Yeah.
The good is that he does have a wasteland target now.
Sure.
So he can actually get Nimble Mongoose up to 7. Let's see what this is. Another suppression field.
Not worth a whole lot here.
No. I feel like the first copy of suppression field is oftentimes really good. The ones after it aren't particularly good.
Yeah.
It does make wasteland cost 4. It also makes it so that, you know, Delta will cost 4 to activate
Yeah,
as well.
it at least keeps Boswell off of it wastelanding this turn. Boswell basically had to spend all of his mana to break the Delta open, and then the next turn he can pay for wasteland if it's appropriate.
Here comes everybody.
The thing is, this clock is about 2 turns here,
Yep.
so.
And what's weird here is that, you know, Delta playing a big role.
Yeah.
You know, in a spot where it typically wouldn't do much at all, the fact that it's something that he can actually place into his graveyard at a pretty high cost. But that turns on Nimble Mongoose. I now Field Marshal down. And now I'm not sure how Sachs gets out of this one, because
Yeah.
he is really choked on mana.
And it's nothing like Wrath of God or any sort of sweeper in his deck, no Ensnaring Bridge. I mean, I don't think he can get out from under this.
Volcanic Island is the weapon of choice here for Boswell. There goes the Field Marshal, because Nimble Mongoose is now a 3/3, and also 7 damage going to come across. Sachs down to 6. A Plains is the draw, but it's a little bit late to the party here. And that is going to do it. Andrew Boswell's going to win this match over Steven Sachs 2-1. Tamer Delver will take care of the innovative Mono White Soldiers deck. And for Boswell, a former Open Series champion, his tournament is off to a very good start. He is 4-0 here with Tamer Delver.
There's a lot of swing cards in Legacy that